crafty friends, Melissa Miner here. Thanks so much for joining me on YouTube. Today I am working with the Love from Lizi April card kit called Love Notes. It is absolutely gorgeous. If you haven't seen my unboxing already, I will leave my video link listed down below in the description box where you can check it out. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So for today's cards, I'm going to be making 8. And so the first thing I want to do is stamp out some of these beautiful typewriters that come on the stamp set. So to season my stamp, I took the stamp and I just kind of rubbed it up against my palm of my hand, and that just removes some of the sticky off of it. I like to do that the first time I stamp it. And then I'm using some clear embossing ink here, and I'm bringing in some black embossing powder, and I'm putting that all over the stamp. Now, I won't have you watch me do all of this, but I want to show you what you can do if you don't quite get your image all the way stamped up. So you can see here over in the left-hand side, I'm missing a little bit of the handle for the typewriter. So one thing you can do is that you can line it back up in your MISTI after you go ahead and put the embossing powder on. Now another thing I did is I used my paintbrush, just a dry paintbrush, and I was rubbing some of the powder off, and I rubbed too much. So I just dabbed a little bit more of the powder on. Now I'm using my heat tool and I'm getting this heat set. And once I'm finished with that, then I can stick it back in my MISTI there or whatever stamping platform that you have. And that's why I like to use a stamping platform whenever I'm doing the heat embossing. So I just put a little bit of the clear embossing ink over on that side that I missed. And now I can take my powder and I can go ahead and add that and then reheat it again. And you'll never know that I messed that up. So that's just a little quick tip for you. Off camera, once I get this completely heat set, I'm going to go in and fussy cut several of these. That just means cutting with my scissors, and I'll get these all cut out so I can use them on my projects. All right, let's go ahead and start with card number 1. So I am using the Spectrum Noir Tri-Blend alcohol markers, and I'm going to color each of my typewriters differently for all of the cards I make today. So for this one, I'm using a darker shade for the keys and then a lighter shade for the typewriter. All right, so I went ahead and got that completed. And now I'm going to go ahead and put some strips onto this black piece of paper. Now the black piece of paper is cut to 4 by 5 1/4. And then my strips here are 1 1/4 by 3 1/2. And I did cut 3 of those, 2 of one pattern and 1 of another. And then the little pink strip that I have there, that is cut to 1/2 inch by 3 3/4. Now I'm going to dovetail the ends, so I like to just place a little cut in the center, and then I cut from the corner to the center and the corner to the center. If you don't get it just right, you can start over and try again, or just cut from the corner back to the center again. So I've almost got this dovetailed here. I'll put some adhesive on the back and I'll get this glued down to my card. So I use lots of the different pattern papers that came in the kit. I love this little typewriter pattern paper. I thought that was really pretty. All right, and so now I need to stamp a sentiment on my typewriter. So I'm going to pull out the stamp set that came included in the kit this month. And I like the sentiment, "Sending Love." So I'm going to pull that out. We'll get that stamped down. And I am using some archival ink on my stamp here. You can use whatever black ink you have. I like to use these little cubes when I'm stamping just little sentiments like this. All right, so I will set that to the side. I'm going to go ahead and get this glued down flat. So we'll get this glued down. And then to embellish, I want to bring in some of the peel-offs. So let me get this glued down to my card base. It is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Isn't that super pretty? Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I want to pull in some stickers. So this kit came with a full sticker sheet, and you can see I've already used several of these. So I'm going to bring in some stickers, and I just want to have like some florals coming out of the typewriter. And I like to use this powder tool to remove the stick off the back of my stickers. And you'll see me do that a lot. And that is so I can move them around like die cuts. Pulling out my little envelope here of all my foam goodies. So I've got some foam dots, so I'll add these to the back. And the whole reason that I took the stick off the back of this sticker is so that I could pop it up with some foam dimension. All right, so I'm going to stick this down right on the typewriter. There we go. And then I'm going to bring in the peel-offs. So these are the mini hearts, white with gold finish. And these came in the card kit this month. So I'm going to add one of the larger ones. And then I want to pull in 2 of the small size. So these mini hearts come in 3 different sizes, and I love that about the Love from Lizi peel-offs. With the 3 different sizes, it's always nice to embellish cards. So here is card number 1, and I did make 2 of them. All right, let's go ahead and start on card number 2. So for card number 2, I stamped the typewriter a little differently. I just went ahead and stamped it off camera with some yellow ink. And now I'm bringing in this stamp set that was in last month's card kit. And so we'll go ahead and get this sentiment. I really liked the sentiment, a happy hello. So that is from the Love from Lizi Bugs and Kisses stamp set. So I thought happy hello would be super cute on a card. And it fits perfectly in this typewriter. So we've got that. And then I'm going to bring in some other dies. So for my other dies, I'm bringing in this from Love from Lizi. This is the nested stitched rectangles, and these are amazing. You get a ton of them. And then I'm also bringing in this one from my stash, and this is a nested wavy circle die. All right, this card is super easy. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but I did use the stitched nested rectangle for this pattern paper. So I'm going to go ahead and get this adhered, and it looks like it's about 4 by 5 1/4. And then for this little strip of paper here, this is 1 by 4 1/4. And before I place it on the card, I want to bring in some pinstripe peel-off. So this is the gold mirror, and this is from the Love from Lizi Love Notes pinstripe bundle. That's an add-on this month. And this gold mirror is super pretty. So I'm going to add that to the ends here. Looks like I got it a little crooked, so let me peel that up and just make sure it is straight across this strip. We'll get that pressed down, and then I'm going to go ahead and adhere this to the left side of my card. And now I want to go ahead and add this circle. Now, if you don't have a wavy circle like this, you could always just add a large circle. And basically what I'm doing is I just need a resting place for my typewriter. So I'm going to bring in my stamped typewriter. And so you can see here it has a completely different look. And now I'm bringing in some of these. This is from the Variety Peel-Off Bundle, the Love Notes Variety Peel-Off Bundle. And these are the Butterfly Border Gold Moon Dust. So these butterflies are super sparkly, and they're just perfect size to fit on this cute little typewriter. So I'll go ahead and add 1 in the upper right and 2 in the lower left. And that is going to complete this card. I do want to add a little bit of foam to give my typewriter some extra dimension here. So I'll cut a piece of this foam down to size. So we'll get this glued down, and I like to use liquid glue on the back of these. So I'll add a little bit of the liquid glue. This is a super fast and easy card that you could definitely recreate multiples of. And there's no coloring involved since I stamped the typewriter with some yellow ink. So we'll go ahead and stick this down. And that completes card design number 2. So here is cards 3 and 4. And you can see here I used a different pattern paper, and the little strip is actually from the leftover of that same pattern paper. All right, let's go ahead and start on cards number 5, and this is card design number 3. So for this one, the typewriter is another one that I heat embossed, and I'm bringing in some of my Spectrum Noir alcohol tri-blend markers. And for this one, I'm coloring each of these different. So with this one, I have the typewriter colored in, and then I have the keys colored in a different color, completely different color. Now I'm bringing in this piece of pattern paper, and I'm coloring this in with the marker. And then let me show you how I got this piece. So you want to take a 6x6 piece of pattern paper, and then you're just going to mark it at 1.5 inches all the way around. And then once you get your 1.5 inch marks all the way around, you're just going to connect them from side to side, and then you're going to cut that. Now the first piece of pattern paper that I showed you there, the black with the white hearts, that was measured at 5 by 3 3/4. And then again, this one is a 6x6 piece, and you cut at the 1.5 inch marks. So you can see here, oh, it looks like I forgot to draw one of my lines. So let me go ahead and add that. And then I will connect these, and then you'll be able to see here, this is how I got this, is by just cutting these out. So let me bring back in this plaid piece that I cut and see if we can match this up. Not here, let's see. Looks like right here. So you can see that is this piece, but you can easily get 4 cards out of this just by cutting it in this way. So I'm going to mat these, I'm going to glue the checked piece onto the heart paper. And then I want to bring in some peel-offs before I stick it down to the next layer. So the peel-offs I'm going to be using for this one, these are from the Pinstripe bundle, and this is the red with the gold finish. And I love this color. So we'll add a little bit to just around this pattern paper here, just to outline it. And I really think it gives it that something extra. So let me get this one in place, and then I'll cut off the excess. Put my extra back on the paper here. All right, so that looks super pretty. You can see I colored in all those hearts. And now I'm going to adhere this to a black piece of cardstock, and this black is cut to 4 by 5 1/4. And then I'm going to take both of those layers, and I'm going to use that specialty cardstock. This is the add-on specialty cardstock bundle, and I'm using a piece of the gold mirror in 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So it's the full size of my card base. And then I'm going to stick it onto the front of my card base. So we'll get this, make sure it's going the right direction. Get this stuck down. Now I can add my typewriter, and I do need to stamp a sentiment, so I stamped that off camera, just a note, and I added some foam dimension, and I'll place this at an angle right here in the center. Give it a good press, and then I want to bring in some peel-offs. So I really like how the mini hearts, the white with the gold finish, just fit perfectly on this typewriter. So for this one, I'm going to add 1 large in the bottom right. I'm going to add a medium up in the upper left. And then I'm going to go ahead and add a small heart to the bottom here. So that looks really pretty. So this is card design number 3. And this completes cards number 5 and 6 because I did make 2 of them. All right, let's go ahead and start our last card design. So we're going to start on card design number 4. Now for card design number 4, I'm going to stamp this one out on camera. So I'm using some alcohol-friendly black ink, alcohol marker-friendly black ink, and I'm going to stamp it up a couple times. My ink is not very juicy anymore. I've had this for quite a while. It still works great, but I do need to ink it up several times. So I have this in my stamping platform here. And then I just wanted to show you how easy it is to fussy cut this design. So when I fussy cut, instead of moving my scissors, I like to move the paper, and I find that it just kind of glides along. So when you're fussy cutting, you can just turn the paper instead of turning your scissors or your hand, just turn the paper wherever you need to cut. And I find that that is the easiest way to fussy cut an image, and it looks like it was die cut out. So I've got a few more twists and turns here. So I did snip off the edge on that little piece, and then it gets a little tricky just right here. Just have to hold that so it doesn't slide. And there we go. Perfect. Now for this one, I'm going to bring in a green marker, and I'm only going to color in the top of the top typewriter. Oh goodness. And then the keys. So again, this is a completely different idea for coloring in your typewriter. So I'll go ahead and color the rest of this off camera. We have that. I did go ahead and stamp this sentiment, the same sentiment we've been using from the stamp set, sending love. And I'm just going to put one of the mini hearts with white with the gold finish that came in the kit. Now for this card design, you want to take 2 pieces of pattern paper and stack them together. So these are both cut to 4 by 5 1/4. Stack them up together and then just make a cut, and while it's in your trimmer, while they're stacked together, and then you'll get 2 different pieces, and then you could make 2 different cards out of this. So I'm going to place both of these pieces onto the card. I like to call this the stack and cut. And now I have a 3/4 inch strip of the green glitter paper. This was in the specialty cardstock add-on bundle. And I'm just placing it here along the center where those edges meet up. And now I'm going to bring in some of the pinstripes. So I have the pinstripe bundle here. This is the gold mirror. And I'm going to place these gold mirror pinstripes across the top and then also along the bottom. So now with this one, oh, it looks like I had another little piece stuck to it. I can't fold it around the edges because this is my actual card base, so I'm going to have to flip this over and cut off the excess, but I am going to use this on the bottom, and because the center is going to be covered with my typewriter, they don't have to meet up and go all the way across. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and snip off the excess here. And then I want to try out some of these black glitter strips. Now, I'm not sure if these are called peel-offs, but they are new, and we did receive a sample in the kit this month, and we received 5 black glitter strips. So I found these that mine did tear just a little bit when I was adding them on, and I don't know if it's just how I pulled them off. So this first one tore a little bit, but when I peel off the next one here, it does seem to pull off easier, and it would pull the whole strip, but I am going to end up cutting it because I don't need the whole thing. So that was the rest of the first piece. And then I did get a little bit on my hands. I noticed this one does rub off on your hands a little bit. But see how this one just peeled off really easy, and it probably would have peeled all the way off. So I really like these. They have like a little more dimension in them, I think, than just the regular peel-offs. So they look really nice. Here's my extra peel-off stuck to the back of the card. Let me peel that off. Okay, so I've got like a double peel-off border on this card, and I think it's super pretty. All right, now for this one, I'm going to add a little bit of foam to the back to pop up that typewriter and give it some extra dimension. So I'm going to add some liquid glue to my foam here, and we'll get this typewriter into place. So there we go. And then I've got this one. And then off camera, I'm going to go in and add some of the green gems that came in the kit, in the bag. Okay. If you don't already follow me on Facebook and on Instagram, I would love for you to follow me on those platforms, as well as my personal YouTube channel, Cards by Melissa Miner. Here is a look at cards 7 and 8. So you can see here, I did place the green gems in a little bit different placement, but overall it's the same design, and you can see One is the top of that pattern paper and one is the bottom, so it's easy to get to. All right, here's a look at all of the 8 cards that we made today. Leave me a comment and let me know which card is your favorite. Thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye!